know the collective bargaining works not just in good times, but also in tough times. And right now, what we've got to do is we look at our pension obligations. We look at our overall budget. I'm going to be sitting down with our friends in labor. We're going to have a meeting tomorrow as well. And going forward to keep this conversation going. So to make sure that young employees know they got the pension and health care benefits promised to them going forward on a sustainable basis.
I believe that the business community is sort of united in their opposition of the paid family leave, coupled with the $15 minimum wage. They're saying this is not the time to do it. The economy isn't really that good here. Business people who are very leery about these mandates that you would favor and the Democratic majority is that.
This is the right time to do it. We're not the first. We're able to learn from the example of our neighbors. But given the nature of families in this day and age, Mark, have more single families, more of double earner families not there. You've got to give families a little bit of flexibility when it comes to taking care of a sick one. And I also think it's really important that work pay. I'm working collaboratively with the business folks. We're going to phase this in on the minimum wage over a responsible period of time, give people a chance to plan accordingly, and we're going to get it done. I'm the first business guy as governor in many, many years. I'm looking business in the eye and say, I think this is the best interest, not just of your workplace, but your workforce in the state of Connecticut.
Governor calls that the medical societies of 4 states, Delaware, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, all say that we should not move forward with the legalization of marijuana. There hasn't been enough research on it. And the research that's coming in from California and Colorado is not good.
Look, I disagree. I think the idea of leaving that to the black market would be irresponsible and dangerous. And we've seen some of the stuff that's coming out of the black market there. I think to do it on a carefully regulated basis is the safest way to do it going forward. And our neighbors are doing it, and we're going to do it as well.
Governor, that bill is in danger of falling apart under its own weight. The marijuana bill is in danger of falling under its own weight.
I'll get you in one
Governor.
second. Sorry about that.
What are you doing to push your marijuana initiative, sir? Are you meeting with lawmakers there? It's so complicated. No one seems to be taking a lead on it. The odds are against it passing right now. What are you doing to get that bill across?
Well, look, right now it's coming out of the legislature. They're taking the lead on this. I'll tell you one thing I'm doing on it. I'm talking to Gina Raimondo in Rhode Island. And I'm saying, let's do something like this on a regional basis. Let's regulate it on a thoughtful basis. Let's make sure we know what the content is. Let's make sure we know that we're not going to advertise it. So I think what I'm trying to do is make sure that we do this on a very thoughtful basis going forward. The bill is going to come out of the legislature. I'm going to make sure it's something that parents will have confidence that this is the right thing to do.
Governor, when you talk about needs versus wants in your debt diet, what are some of the items that maybe were discussed that didn't make it onto this agenda because you felt they were more of a want?
I'll tell you what my priorities were. Let me put it that way. My priorities were, one, I wanted to hold our municipalities harmless. So when it came to LoCIP and a lot of the funding that they've come to expect over the years, important to their, local transportation needs, I wanted to hold that consistent. I wanted to take advantage of places where we got some federal sharing of the costs there and make sure I didn't let that opportunity slip. And fundamentally, going forward, I'm going to do everything I can to prioritize bonding in and around everything we do to get this state growing again, what I can do in terms of economic growth and development. Those will be my real priorities. There are a lot of nice-to-haves out there, and I think the municipalities and not-for-profit are going to have to take more of the lead on that in years to come.
Mark, wait a minute. On paid family leave, every variable you change requires another actuarial study. So how close are you as an administration to telling the legislature, this is the deal, these should be the parameters as far as who's covered, what percentage of wage replacement, and so forth?
We're sitting down with the respective chairman as we speak right now. I'm also talking to folks in the private sector. I'm also talking to folks in Massachusetts and Rhode Island and other places, New York, where we can learn from their experience. And we're going to take the best ideas we can and put that forward in a bill that I know is fiscally locked tight. So we know that whatever the rate is can deliver the goods in terms of the benefits, not just for the next year, but for the next 10 years.
So do you pledge that when this is presented to the legislature, there's going to be an actuarial legislators that this thing the numbers will work?
Yeah, I think that's just what I'm going to do. You know, if I have somebody that wants to administer this thing and take the financial risk in return for a 10-year contract, that's the way I like to think about these things.
Where are you on the negotiations with the tribes on sports betting? We keep hearing total silence about that. Where are we with the tribes?
Well, sometimes total silence is the best way to handle your negotiations. But, Chris, I think, as you know, we can do sports betting, we can do internet gambling. I'm trying to find a global solution going forward that honors our commitment to the tribes and make sure we do this in a thoughtful way for the next 20 years. I'm not looking for a short-term fix. And, all I can tell you is the conversations are continuing.
And they'll be done before the end of the session?
I sure hope so.
Governor, any comments on Joe Biden, especially considering that he campaigned for you back in the fall?
Look, I think Joe's got a 40-year record of serving his country, and people know Joe Biden pretty well. So take a look at the accusations, pay attention to them, but I think people have a good sense of who he is as a man and as a public servant.
Do you have an update on the New Haven line electrical problem from either Giletti or that's the person you probably...
Well, I'll tell you what scares me is that when that transformer went down, it was going to take us 6 months to a year to get a replacement. These are not off-the-shelf items, and thankfully we got some redundancy in there. We're able to keep things going on a near-term basis. But it just reminds you that our transportation system, in many cases, is held together with baling wire right now. And so we've got to make sure, think of what the risk would have been to that region of the state if Metro North had extraordinary delays or even couldn't run for a period of time. And we were close. Thank God for DOT and the folks down there. They're manning all the different transformer stations right now. They're paying extra attention, belts and suspenders. But this is a type of risk that we can't allow to fester for the next 10 years.
As we're standing here right now, do you think that sports betting, marijuana, and alcohol are
Yeah, I do. I do because I think it's the right thing for the state. I think it's time. I think our neighboring states are doing something like this. I'm working in collaboration with them. And, there are a lot of moving parts in politics. I've got to bring some folks together to get this done. But I think it's the right thing for the state, and that's why I'm going to support it and put my shoulder to the wheel to get it done. I think with that, everybody, thank you very much. Appreciate the chance to be with you all.